Okay, 8.0 prerequisite skills compound interest. So unit 8 is going to be based on compound interest. So we are going to talk about money. Okay, so here are some prerequisite skills that we're going to need. So example 1, convert to a decimal. So 8%. As soon as you see this percent sign, what this actually means is times by 1/100. The other way of thinking about this is just put that number and divide it by 100, and that's it. So 8%, again, as soon as we see that percent symbol, we do 8 divided by 100. And when you throw that into your calculator, we get 0.08. Okay, in the questions that we're going to be doing in this unit, when we talk about a percentage, we cannot use 8 in the equation. We have to use the percentage as a decimal. B, 25%. Again, as soon as we see that percentage sign, we know that we're going to divide by 100. So throw this into your calculator and we get 0.25. Example 2, we're going to evaluate. So we want to find 15% of 3,000. So 15%, again, we are unable to calculate anything with a percentage. We have to convert that to a decimal. So we're going to do 15 divided by 100. And when we want 15% of 3,000, we then multiply this by 3,000. Okay, so 15% is 0.15 as a decimal. If we multiply this by 3,000, we get 450. So in this one, there's 2 steps. First, convert your percentage into a decimal. And then second, multiply by the value, which in this case is 3,000. Okay, so the same for example B, 45% of 250. Okay, as soon as you see this percent, you know you're going to have to convert your percentage into a decimal. So let's go ahead and do 45 divided by 100. And we're going to take that of 250. So we get 0.45 times 250. Okay, 45% is decimal 45. So our answer is 112.5. Okay, example 3. Evaluate and express your answer as a decimal. Okay, so we're going to see this in these questions as well. We're going to have to take some percentage and divide it by 2. So if you remember in bed math, division and multiplication, it doesn't matter which order we go in. So 12%, again, percentage, we want to take 12 and divide it by 100. And then we can take that and divide it by 2. Okay, we can do it this way, or we can take 12 and divide it by 2 and then divide it by 100. It doesn't matter which order we go in. So let's do this first. 12% is going to be 0.12. And then if we divide that by 2, we get 0.06. Okay, B, 4.4% divided by 4. So let's calculate the percentage first. We would have 4.4, just take the number as it is. Don't do anything to it, don't move the decimal, nothing. We're going to divide that by 100. Okay, and we get 0.044. Now, we're now going to divide it by 4. So we get 0.011. Okay, now exponents. Example 4, use a calculator to evaluate the following. So just simply put 1.04 to the exponent 5 in your calculator. This is just making sure that you know how to use the exponent button. Your exponent button may look like a little hat, like an arrow going up. Okay, it may also look like an X to the Y or a Y to the X on the button. Okay, so usually what we do is we box these so that they look like buttons on your calculator. Okay, and let's go to 4 decimals. So I get 1.2167. And you want to do that just to make sure that you know how to use that button on your calculator. So B, 300 times 1.022 to the exponent 3. Okay, again, in BEDMAS, exponents come before multiplication. So I'm just going to move this 300 down. Okay, and then we're going to apply the exponent first. So 1.022 to the exponent 3, I get 1.0675. We'll do 4 decimals again. Okay, and at this point, you want to multiply by 300. So we get 320 decimal. I'm going to do 2 decimals, and the reason is because we're doing compound interest. So a lot of these questions are going to be quoted in dollars. So by doing it 2 decimals, this like 2 digits for the cents. Now, simple interest. Simple interest is calculated on the original amount invested. This is the equation. So I represents the amount of interest earned. P is the principal amount. Principal amount, what that means is just the amount of the original investment. R is the interest rate, but this is the interest rate as a decimal. Okay, what we've been practicing so far. And T is the time in years. So, example 5, use the formula I equals PRT to calculate the simple interest earned on each investment. Okay, if we're calculating the simple interest, we want to put the I here because that's what we're solving for. Okay, for A, the principal is 5,000. Now, times R is 5%. I'm going to go to the side of my paper and I'm going to put 5 over 100. I know that I cannot use a percentage in a calculation. We have to convert that to a decimal. For 5%, we're going to get 0.05. Okay, and then the time in years, which is 4. So all 3 of these numbers are multiplied by one another. So in BEDMAS, we can just do them in any order. So 5,000 times 0.05 times 4, all in your calculator, would be 1,000. And this is measured in dollars. So the interest on this investment is $1,000. Okay, same thing for B. We're going to start with I equals PRT. Okay, we're solving for I. So the P is 12,500. The rate. So 3% converted to a decimal, we just divide by 100 and we get 0.03. Right? And then the 7, we just sub in. So what we want to do is plug this into our calculators. Again, multiplication doesn't matter what order we go in. So 12,500 times 0.03 times 7, we get 2625. Okay, and no change.